I am 96 years old, and I have a confession that is going to make some of you uncomfortable. I saved money my entire life, every single paycheck, every single year. I clipped coupons. I reused tea bags. I drove the same car for 19 years. I said no to trips, to dinners, to dresses in shop windows that made me stop and stare. And when my husband Walter died and I finally looked at what we'd saved, do you know what I felt? Nothing. I felt nothing, because the money was there, but the life I'd been saving it for was already gone. I am not telling you to be reckless. I am telling you something much harder to hear. That after 70, the most dangerous thing you can do with your money is keep it. If you are over 70 and you still feel guilty spending money on yourself, if you check your bank balance more than you check on your own happiness, if the word splurge makes your stomach tighten, this message is for you. I lived this, every penny of it, and I am going to tell you what it cost me, not in dollars, in years I can't get back. Stay with me. Because what I learned at 89 might save you a decade of regret. Walter and I grew up poor, real poor, not the kind where you skip a vacation, the kind where you skip meals. His father worked in a steel mill and lost 3 fingers before Walter turned 10. My mother cleaned houses 6 days a week and still couldn't pay the electric bill some months. So when Walter and I got married in 1954, we made a promise to each other. We said, we will never be broke no matter what it takes. And we kept that promise. Lord, did we keep it. For 46 years we saved. We put money into accounts we never touched. We fixed things instead of replacing them. We turned down invitations because the restaurant was too expensive. We stayed home on anniversaries because a nice dinner wasn't practical. And every time we said no to something we wanted, we told ourselves the same story. Someday, when we have enough. Someday we'll enjoy it. Someday. That word is a thief dressed as a friend. It sits at your table and eats your future one postponement at a time. Walter's chair sat empty for years, and the money just sat there with it. Both of them waiting for a life that was never going to start on its own. Walter always wanted to go to Italy. He talked about it for 30 years. He had a postcard of the Amalfi Coast taped to the inside of his workshop cabinet. I'd see him looking at it sometimes when he thought I wasn't watching. Every year I'd say, maybe next year, when we've saved a little more. And every year he'd nod and say, you are right, next year. And next year would come, and I'd find another reason to wait. Walter died in 2000. He was 73. He never saw Italy, not the coast, not the churches, not the little fafes he used to read about. He never even saw the ocean from that side of the world. And after his funeral, I went home to a house with money in the bank and a postcard in an empty workshop, and I understood for the first time what we'd actually been saving. We'd been saving for a life we never let ourselves live. I sat in that workshop for an hour the day after the funeral, just sitting on his stool, and I thought about every restaurant we didn't go to, every trip we canceled, every anniversary we spent at home eating casserole because I said the steakhouse was too expensive. I would have given every dollar in that account to have one more dinner with him. One more evening where we didn't worry about the bill. One more night where we said yes instead of someday. And here is what nobody tells you. After 70, the things money can buy start disappearing. Not the things themselves, your ability to enjoy them. At 72, I could have hiked through the Italian hills with Walter. At 78, my knees said no. At 82, my back said no. At 86, the doctor said no. The money was still there, but my body had already spent what mattered. Your body is a clock, and it doesn't care how much is in your savings account. Every year you wait to live, it takes one more option off the table. It doesn't slow down for your budget. It doesn't pause while you think it over. It just keeps going. And one day you look up and the things you were saving for don't fit your body anymore. But this next part might sting a little, because I need to talk about the thing underneath the saving, the fear, and I am not talking about the fear of being broke. I am talking about the fear of being worth the money. I didn't just save because of my childhood. I saved because somewhere deep inside, I didn't believe I deserved to spend. I didn't believe that a nice dinner or a new coat or a weekend away was something I'd earned. Even after 60 years of working and raising children and keeping a house running on fumes and faith, I thought spending on myself was selfish. I thought wanting things was weakness. I thought the right thing to do was always sacrifice. Save for the children, save for emergencies, save for the future, but never save anything for yourself. That is not discipline. That is self-erasure. And a lot of women my age did it without ever questioning it because we were taught that wanting less made us good. Wanting things doesn't make you greedy. It makes you human. And denying yourself for 70 years doesn't make you virtuous. It makes you invisible. Even to yourself. I looked at my closet one morning and realized it told the whole story. 1 gray coat, 3 plain blouses, nothing that made me feel beautiful. Nothing I chose just because it made my heart lift. So let me tell you what changed. Because something did change. And it started with a pair of shoes. I was 89 years old. I was walking past a shop downtown with my friend Dorothy, and I stopped at a pair of burgundy leather shoes in the window. Soft leather, low heel. The most beautiful shoes I'd seen in years. And Dorothy looked at me and said, "Elena, you have more money in the bank than you'll ever spend, and you are standing outside a shoe store like a kid with her nose pressed to the glass. Go buy the damn shoes." I laughed, and then I cried, right there on the sidewalk, because she was right. I had enough. I'd always had enough. I just never gave myself permission to use it. I bought the shoes. 89 years old, and that was the first time in my adult life I bought something beautiful just because I wanted it. Not because I needed it. Not because it was on sale, because I wanted it, and I was worth it. That sounds small, a pair of shoes, but it cracked something open in me that had been sealed shut for decades. After that, I started spending, not foolishly, but deliberately. I booked a trip to Italy. I went alone. At 89, I sat in a caffè in Positano and ordered the most expensive coffee on the menu and drank it slowly while looking at the same Coast Walter had on that postcard. And I talked to him. In my head, I said, "Walter, I am sorry we didn't do this together, but I am here now and I am doing it for both of us." I brought his postcard with me. I set it on the table right next to my coffee, and for the first time, the picture and the view matched. 23 years too late. But I was there. I came home, and I hired someone to fix the porch Walter always meant to repair. I bought a new mattress for the first time in 22 years. I took my granddaughter out for her birthday and paid for everyone without looking at the bill. And I gave money to my children, not in my will, not after I am gone now. While I can see them use it, while I can watch my grandson's face when he opens the envelope, while I am alive enough to feel the joy of it. Because here is what nobody tells you about inheritance. Dead generosity is a transaction. Living generosity is love. My grandson called me last month to tell me he used the money I gave him to take his girlfriend to the restaurant, where Walter and I had our first date. He didn't even know that is where it was. Life has a way of closing circles if you let it. I want you to hear me now, really hear me, because this is the part I came here to say. Your savings account will not hold your hand at 3 in the morning. Your emergency fund will not sit with you at breakfast. Your retirement balance will not tell you it loves you, or make you laugh, or take you dancing in the kitchen at midnight. Money is a tool, a good tool, but a tool is only as valuable as what you build with it. And if you build nothing, if you just stack tools in the corner and stare at them, you haven't been responsible. You've been afraid. I am not saying drain your accounts. I am not saying be foolish. I am saying sit down with yourself this week and ask one honest question. What am I saving for that I could be living right now? Is it a trip? Take it. Is it a gift for someone you love? Give it. Is it a repair you've been putting off for 3 years? Fix it. Is it a meal at a restaurant you've been wanting to try? Go this week. Don't wait for someone to take you. Don't wait for a special occasion. You being alive today is the occasion. Sit down. Order something wonderful. And don't you dare look at the right side of the menu first, because here is the truth that took me 96 years to understand. The best thing you can do with your money after 70 is turn it into memories. Not for your heirs, not for the future, for you, right now, today. Your children don't need your inheritance as much as they need to see their mother living, actually living, laughing at a dinner table, wearing those shoes, alive in the way that only happens when you stop waiting and start choosing. If this touched something in you today, if you thought of your own Walter, your own postcard, your own pair of shoes in a window, please share this with someone. A friend who is still saving for someday, a sister who hasn't bought herself anything nice in years, someone who needs permission to live before the clock runs out. Tell me in the comments what you've been putting off, What is your Italy? What is your pair of shoes? Saying it out loud is the first step to doing it. You are not a bank. You are a person, and a person's job is not to accumulate. It is to live fully generously, without apology. Go spend something this week. Not on a bill, not on a grandchild. On yourself. You've earned it 60 times over, and you don't need anyone's permission but your own. Walter would have loved those shoes, by the way. He always said I looked good in red.